All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started.
We came up and back tested 68.50. All right, which was the low of this zone here. We came up, back tested it, made a major failure off it, but did not create a new low. All right, then we came up, did not create a new low, pushed back up again to 68.50 here, failed it, did not create a new low off of 67.96 or 67.69. All right, pushed up. Now we actually pushed through the low on this latest candle here, or on this latest in the overnight session. Okay, we did push up through 68.60 or through 68.51. All right, and now we're making an attempt to reclaim this zone. All right, which could provide us with a move to the upside, but again, where I'd be looking for a sell is off of 69.32 here, which would be the back test of the next zone at the low. All right, which we have not back tested this yet. All right, so let me pull up the bands here on oil so we can get an idea of where those are. All right, so we got the upper band here at 68.88. And we got the lower down here, 67.92. All right, just below this little shelf of volume here, where again we need to create a new low. All right, so what might be interesting to me is if we do make our way up here to 70 and then reject off of that, or in the shorter term, if we fail 69.31, maybe at the market open, and then fail downward from there. Again, I'm still not necessarily looking for buys off of oil, but the first buy that might interest me is back down here at 67.96 or 67.69. Where we had the last area of resistance. All right. But currently we're re-entering a previous zone. And so the majors of price currently have not necessarily been fleshed out yet because we are making a leg up. All right. But 70 would be the first area that would interest me. But again, we would want to see what price does. I'd want to see price come up and really kind of resist off of 70 for a couple of candles before pushing back down.
Yeah, no A-books on like the indicator that were painted, but I would say the best would have been the rejection here off of 20,479, but it was a minor. All right, but then the next best I think would have been the play off of this here because price was obviously magnetized, right? So any time price came below or above either of these prices would have been okay to potentially take a buy or a sell off of these, right? Especially this back test here of 20,479 with this failure. Should have been an pretty easy sell to the downside.
This also might want to be a day you want to chunk down potentially a little bit because, again, volatility is probably going to be a little bit high. All right. But again, I would ideally like a pullback up here to 20,227 or into this small range of 20,273. I don't know if that's going to happen. Right. But otherwise, maybe we continue up here and maybe get another rejection off of 28,145. And then that brings us to the downside here. All right. But again, be aware that, you don't want to get caught in a short squeeze here. All right. And so we'll wait for confirmation. Ideally, we get a loss of 20,000. If we can lose 20,000, that might bring us further to the downside. All right, but again, I'd be very cautious because we've already sold off. We've already sold off a lot. I mean, if we just look from the low here, we've already sold off 1,600 ticks. Can it go more? Yes, but 20,000 would be the perfect place for a failed breakdown to give us a squeeze back up to 20,227.
There we go. All right, so we're in a bit of a precarious situation here on gold, and it's the same for anything. All right, whenever we've created a new all-time high, all right, a new all-time high, new leg up, we have no idea where it's going from here. All right, so typically after leg up days, I tend to stay out of I tend to stay out of trading, even on ES. If there's a leg up day, I'm looking for basically any pullback, any retest of a low, which we kind of had a triple bottom here, almost a reverse head and shoulders to the upside. So the logic still applies here on gold. I'm not looking for particularly any sells. Again, I'm not trying to sell into strength. Even if there are sells, there might even be good sells that play out. I'm just not looking for them. All right, because again, the strength is still there. So any major sell is likely going to be accompanied by a major squeeze. All right, so it's going to be okay if you miss the sell. I'm particularly not looking for it. All right, now we've already kind of had this pullback in the London session here. And so I would say on gold today, man, I would just wait until